Alright, welcome back to Another Life in Another World anime review, episode number 2. We're reviewing episodes 3 and 4 for this series. Well, pretty much basically, the class reps here are vice reps, well, the girls and vice reps turn up, one of whom is a redhead voiced by Lucy Christian. And now this is the 23rd series, basically, I've heard of it. Now, her being in a series that basically is basically on the Senta Filmworks streaming service, High Dive, is not surprising. Because it seems like, I'd say several anime, basically, she tends to show up in. Yes. But the thing with her character is this one, she's not that big of a character. She's just a background character. But it's always great to hear her voice. So all the girls, so basically Haruka just escorts all these girls to his house in the middle of nowhere. Around the corner, intersection, and poof, there's his house. Yeah, somehow I built this damn thing. Yes, this actually did happen. I believe this was actually in, if I remember correctly, this was still kind of book 1. Yes, so he takes the girls to his house and shows the fact that, yeah, they show in the house, the girls basically later strip down to go take a bath in an actual bathtub, not basically one of the luxurious ones. Nope. Yeah, then basically after everyone has dinner, he proceeds to go sleep in his tent because he likes to be alone. Yep. Though the class rep does pay him a visit, and the next morning, he gets woken up by a girl he identifies as Fish Girl. Now you're thinking, who the heck is this Fish Girl? This is Chika Chanami, voiced by Elisa Cooler. By the way, the newest girl who wants stripped down is Nagisa Fukunaga. Now, the class rep herself, who is Toka Tasori, that's her name, where, yeah, so they show in the house, of course, and all the girls basically sleep in this big bed, and then he wakes next morning, wakes up by the fish girl, and he threw a fish, and then they decide to basically train to get their levels up. Even this like he's a level 7, everyone was like 20, 16-ish. Yes. And fight of all things, kobolds. Now, I should talk a little bit about kobolds and my experience seeing them in anime. They are very rare. They are very, very rare. The only anime I can think of they popped up in was Remonster, and of course the fantasy anime. And I think they popped up in besides Remonster, I think they have one other series. Though, for some reason, they treat them as like... And this is really weird, because kobolds usually are intelligent species in Remonster. This one, for some reason, they're treated as the same level as goblins. Which, by the way, the goblins in this show look like the same exact design they use from Goblin Slayer. I'm like, fine. Whatever. I'm not going to complain at all. So... After taking some time, they finally beat the kobolds, the girls do, and then they said, let's go nearby Atomic Adventurers, kind of. And of course, look for the nerds, and of course, he's joking, nerd hunting. Nope, they want to take them. So, then of course, episode 4, something interesting happens. They actually finally meet people in this world. Because who have they encountered since they got there? Nobody. And of course, this episode features the series' first elf girl. Yes, an elf girl. Which is interesting. Yeah. So, and of course, they take him to town. The delinquents themselves basically plan to unseal their powers. I think it's like because the powers were sealed for some reason. Also, Haruka meets up with the jocks. Now, you mentioned about this thing called the hijack skill. Mostly put the skill is meant to kill people and take their skills. And it's easily figured out, though the class rep herself has it. And, of course, Haruka finds out right away that it was her. Because, of course, he knows that he would never use it. It's kind of a minor thing, and then the jocks go off, and who knows, we'll see it again. But then, of course, they all meet up, and, of course, the girls are finally over basically seeing an elf. Now, I should point out that elves are seen in pretty much every single fantasy series I have ever watched. They are the most popular, reoccurring type of non-human characters, well, non-human species that pop up. Do you know who else pops up in these ones besides elves? Dwarves. I would say slimes, because they generally pop up in just every single one I can think of. Aside from those three, I'd say dragons. But so far we haven't counted dragons yet. But it's interesting, though, for an isekai, and the first monsters, the first non-human monster species they encounter are goblins and kobolds. And now it's an elf. Now, those of you curious, though, what was the last series that's not Goblin Slayer to feature the goblins show up really early on in the show? That being, that's Emerald and Slime. Yep. But not much else to say about these two episodes. They're pretty good. Yep. And also, with these two are roughly 8 more to go, and they'll be done. Excuse me. So, I'm probably sadly only going to be able to do about 2 more episodes tonight. And then that'll be, I'll probably finish up tomorrow and probably start to, and maybe able to, after I get done all my anime, I may be able to start up, and this is a maybe, I may be able to start up Chill in My 30s, the next anime at this one. That's possible, who knows. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next up is a comic corner. Okay, next video. Bye.